Hey you guys, my name is Kiafa. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my tribe. I had a brain fart just then. So you guys, today's video is for surgical techs again because I have been talking to a lot of surgical techs or surgical tech students, and so I'm just gonna share my thoughts really quick on this topic. And the question is, should you go traveling? And the answer to that question is yes, you should go traveling as a surgical tech. I actually think this is like, once you get your training as a new surgical tech, I think this is like the best way to make your income, to make the most income as a surgical tech, is to go traveling. And what that means is basically you're a contractor for a company, and then the company loans you out to the hospital, and then the company basically has a contract with the hospital, and the company pays you, but they pay you is more, and you get, your taxes are different. So there is a video on my channel I think I made about traveling as a surgical tech or whatever, but just to kind of give you like a more current explanation, I guess, is I think that's really the only way to be a surgical tech these days. Now, I know some people don't want to go traveling and things like that. They don't, or be a contractor surgical tech. They want to stay in one location. And for those people, that is fine. But if you out here to actually make money and to get as much out of the, get as much as you can out of the career, then go traveling, because you will make more money faster, and you'll have, the goal is to have as much money as possible. Like, I don't really know too many people that are surgical techs and they don't want to do it for the money, because if that was the case, they would just be working for free. That would be volunteering. And I bet if you start telling people to volunteer to be surgical techs, they wouldn't do it. So my idea is that the goal is to make as much money as possible in this career as fast as possible, because you never know. Like, for most of us, the medical field is like a very physical job. So you're only going to want to do it for a couple of years, and then you're probably going to get burnt out. And that's why you go to these facilities and you see all of these grumpy people, and they've been grumpy for so long. It's because they've been working here. They're not making as much money as they really should be making. And they've been at the same place for too long, honestly. And so traveling allows you to go to a facility, help them out, get as much money as you can, and go on. You don't have to deal with the politics of being in that, hospital, being in that facility with those people that have been there for years and they don't know anything else but that facility. Don't get caught up in that, because the truth is, like, once you be at a place for too long, you kind of become complacent. And so I just think being a travel surgical tech not only provides you the most money, the fastest, it allows you to keep your skills sharp. And so you'll learn stuff at different facilities. Even if you're doing the same procedures, doctors do things differently. Each facility may have each doctor may have a different way of doing the same procedure. And so going to different facilities allow you to meet and interact with different doctors and different surgical techs and nurses, and get some of their knowledge, and then you can take it on to the next facility. So I think traveling as a surgical tech, if you're going to be a surgical tech, traveling is the best way to do it. Most places you need about a year experience before you can go traveling. So get the year experience. And at this hospital, like if you're at a hospital, this is what I would do. I would go get a couple of PRN positions, and I would work at multiple hospitals in my city. I would get as much experience as I could get from those hospitals, and then I would go traveling. Now, you want to try to make, network and stuff like that, because you're going to have to give out references, but make friends with the nurses. You don't have to give reference to like the administrative person. Like, be cool with some of the nurses, be cool with other surgical techs or doctors or something like that. Like, you don't have to go and give your reference, of, I worked at HCA, so now you got them calling your director, and you didn't really like your director like that, or whatever. Don't give them that person as a reference, but you will need references. So during this year of you learning, this first year of you training as a surgical tech, the goal is to network with as many people as you can, build some relationships and connections, and then get the experience that you need, and get out of that facility. Now, if you've been watching any of my lives, you already know how I feel about staying at a facility for too long. I just don't think it's worth it. I think if you stay there, too long, you're not going to be paid what you're worth. And it's just period, point blank. Now, as a surgical tech, as a traveling surgical tech, you're always going to be getting the most that you can get as a surgical tech, because you're always going for, different contracts. Now, you can stay at the place that you want and you'll continue, like once you get a contract and if you like it there and they keep extending you, then you can stay there. That's fine. But just know, like, if you work as a staff person and you stay as a staffer at the facility for more than 2 years, then you are already making less than what you would be worth if you just even did something as simple as going to another facility. So I think traveling is the only way. And I was not a traveler for years. Now, I did do like little contracts, and I also did contracts as a sterile process. I did like 2 contracts as a sterile processor. And so that's something that surgical techs can do as well. But I would definitely look into traveling or contracting my services out. Don't be out here trying to be like, loyal to these companies. That's not the game. It's business. Like, if you don't understand that it's business, you're gonna miss out. And these companies, they know that it's business. So that's why when you go to get your raise, you're only getting like 5 and 10 and 15, 20 cents. You know what I'm saying, on your raise. So understand that. Once you understand that this is business, then you conduct yourself as a business person by, sending your skills out to other people. Like, they call it hospital hoes, I guess. I mean, not to be like, whatever, but that's just what it is. Like, ain't no love in these business streets. So if you can remember that, and I'm here to tell you, like, I graduated in 2006. So I'm very much aware of how these, facilities work and how they operate as far as not giving bonuses or not giving raises and things like that. And even if they do give you a bonus, it's still not going to be worth what you're actually worth. The bonus is going to be what like they're just going to give you just enough to keep you at their facility to make you feel comfortable. But I know some surgical techs that has only worked at one facility. They only know what that doctor provides or that facility provides for them. And they really it doesn't benefit them long term. And so for me, I just wouldn't do it anymore. Like, I'm not loyal to them. I'm loyal to my money. I'm loyal to my bank account. I'm loyal to the investments in my family. That's who I'm loyal to. And so be mindful of who you showing loyalty to. Like, don't be out here trying to, make friends with your nurse manager and you feel like, oh, because I like her, I'm not going to leave. What you liking her, what does that have anything to do with you getting your money? It doesn't have anything to do with it. It's about money. It ain't about anything else. And so go ahead and sign up with multiple travel agencies too, you guys, because sometimes they have different rates. Like, you never know who's going to have the best salary or the best pay rate, I should say. And so you go where the contract is, you go where the money goes. And you also go where, if you want to be in a specific location, then you do that as well. And so I don't think you should be at a facility more than a year, unless it's as a contractor. Me personally don't. Now, there's some people that want to work on pensions and things like that. I don't think a pension is something that we should be focused on, because a pension is not really, these days, it's not going to provide you enough to really live the life that you want to live. It's still going to limit you with the amount of money that you're going to receive. So you're losing, because during the years you're making less, even though you want to stay, let's just say you want to stay somewhere for 15 years, right, to get the pension. If you stay there for 15 years, you're not getting what you would get if you would have left at 5 years. If you go just to the hospital down the street or something like that, you're not going to get what you're worth, if that makes any sense to you. So to stay, to be able to make as much money as you want all the time, it has to be with a staffing agency or a contracting agency or a travel agency, however you want to say it. That's how you make the most money. That's how you're going to be able to keep your skills up. And like I say, the whole goal is for you to make money in the United States. If you're not trying to keep your taxes down and your interest down, which I know that's two different things, but as a travel surgical tech, you can keep your taxes down because you're not being taxed at the $45 or $50 an hour that you're getting. You're only going to get taxed at about $20, or something like that. And so the other part of it is housing, a housing stipend, and per diem for your food. So you don't get taxed on that. But if you are smart and you can budget your money, then even though, you're not being taxed on it, that money is still yours and you just can use it. So like when I was traveling, I had a certain amount of money that was given to me to live. And what I did was, let's just say I was getting $1,000, on top of my hourly rate for my housing stipend. I went and I rented a room out that was $900 a month instead of paying the full $4,000 that they gave me as a housing stipend, and the rest I pocketed. Now, what I would do now if I was to go traveling again or anything like that, I would go get an RV. I would get a travel trailer, RV, and I would park my travel trailer. If it's not a big one, but if you have like something that you can is a little more like not the huge RVs, not those, but a camper B, or maybe even a camper C van, I would park that at the hospital. And I would honestly stay there overnight. I'm not even lying. Like, you can move it every now and then if you need to go somewhere, or maybe if you get it, if they saying something. But I know in California, like, it wouldn't have been nothing for me to post up my RV at the hospital. They're not gonna say anything. Maybe you turn, like, people doing these campers to they're turning vans into campers and things like that, doing these conversions. You could do something like that, but I would try to get something smaller. Now, if you're a taller guy, like I know one of my viewers, he's like 6'6", and so you might want to take into consideration the height. If you need something a little bit taller, if you want to take a shower or something like that, you might need something a little taller. But in these camper B vans, they have wet baths, and you can sit down and take a bath. You might not be able to stand up in your camper van if you're tall. You might have to like park it and stretch your legs, but that's a way to cut your costs. And having a camper van is way cheaper than paying for an apartment or a house or a room, and especially like for me, I had to pay for where I was living at, and I was still maintaining the house that I had here in Jacksonville. And so I had to pay for that out of my own pocket. If I would have had a camper van, I was just paying for the camper, right? That's it. And if you want to go stay at campsites and stuff like that, you can. It'll still be cheaper, but you have to take in mind that going to campsites, it's still going to be like $300-ish, $400 a month, plus whatever you're paying on your camper van if you got a loan out for the camper van. So to answer back to bring it back around, I think you should go traveling. I think this is the only way that any surgical tech should be doing. Even if you are, married, you could, or have kids and stuff like that, you could still go to different facilities in your city, or with like in surrounding cities and things like that. And so I don't think you should be staying at a place. I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. There may be other people out here that's gonna tell you different, but me personally, I'm not gonna tell you to go somewhere and stay there for 5 years, because you're gonna lose out on money. And the whole point of the game is to get money. Like, why are you trying to be a surgical tech? Do you just want to be a surgical tech? Like, there's no point. It's other things in your life that you can do, instead of just wanting to be a surgical tech, if you just want to do it like as a volunteer. So I just wouldn't. And then you have to think, like, especially in Florida, the most people are making down here is like 20-ish, maybe $25, $26 an hour, and they won't make more than that. Even if they stay there for long periods of time, even if they're staying there longer, they're gonna only get like 25, 30-cent raises. And so I'm here to tell you, like, just don't stay there. Just like go somewhere else. Even if you went to another hospital, like I say, just go somewhere else. Go and get as much money as you can. Now, if you're gonna travel, like, let's just say you getting $22 an hour at one place, and then you travel 40 minutes to get $23, that's not gonna be worth it. So don't do that. But if you're gonna go and be getting the most money that you can possibly, if you want to get the most money that you can possibly get as a surgical tech, go travel. You can easily clear $100,000 traveling, and it won't be taxed at $100,000. So do I believe that you're going to be working a lot of hours? Probably. You could also probably take some call, and maybe even if you signed up with a lot of travel agencies, they might even have a strike in there. So if you can get on a strike, you're going to be making thousands of dollars on these strikes, thousands of dollars. And so go get some of this money, go get it. And just don't be loyal to one particular company, even agency. Go where the money at. That's what my advice is. And so that's all I have for this video, you guys. I hope it was useful. Also, I want to interview future surgical tech students, surgical techs that are working out, and past surgical techs, so everybody can have like an idea of what to expect or what's current right now and what's not current right now. So if you're interested in offering, your story, your experience to this channel, email me at info@kiava.com, and in the subject line put interview me, and then I'll know that it's you, and so I'll go ahead and reach out to you and we can do an interview. You can also hit me up, you can DM me on Instagram. That's a good way to get in contact with me. I have put Instagram back on my phone, so I am checking those messages now because I know a lot of you guys have been reaching out to me. Also, I am hiring surgical techs to write 500 words or more for me around surgical technology. And if you're interested in that, same thing, hit me up on Instagram. I'm Kiava on Instagram, or you can email me at info@kiava.com and put in the title or in the subject line, content or writer. I'm a writer or something like that, so I'll know who you are and what you're, hitting me up for. And so that's all I have, you guys. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye.